Stott Ashwick.
Stott's here. Stott, come on.
He taught Ann Margrock how to ski.
Community service.
Never got on the air. So quit your griking.
Oh, this isn't griping. I'm at peace.
Oh, I have a different. When I say griping, I mean quit your. Why can't any of us talk? Because of the new furniture, it's horrible.
Because of the setup, we don't know who's behind you.
I know who's behind me at all times.
There's a whole street out there.
Your television debut, 2006, Comedy Central's Live at Gotham. But here's the thing: before any of this stand-up stuff, you were hired in you were in Wyatt Earp. You were in The Postman. You have
I started stand-up late. November 10th will be 10 years. I've been doing stand-up.
And that's infancy for stand-up,
exactly.
Really.
So I still feel that I'm a rookie, and I'm just trying to get the kinks out.
You got to play special teams. You want to make the team.
Hey, I'm happy to be here.
You got to run down the field and put some pads on somebody.
I'll hit someone.
I know. I dig it.
I'm fragile, though. I break easy.
You break easy?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of muscle, a lot of sharp edges.
You played pro tennis. How could you not have a lot of muscle?
Listen, it's not a contact sport. I stay back, I hit topspin, I come to the net and get the check.
I like that. Did you get checks?
Not enough.
Where did you... All right, you grew up in San Diego, right?
I grew up in San Diego.
And is tennis...
I went to UCSD. I played tennis there. Played a little pro tennis. Then came to Beverly Hills. And
How do you go from playing tennis in college to playing pro tennis? I think the listeners will go, wow, like that's... You've already lived a dream. Would you,
But I was losing, so, I was living a nightmare.
All right, I was on Saturday Night Live, and I failed, but to many people, they'd give a nut to be there for 2 years and fail and watch Nirvana.
Now, why is that a failure? I thought you did great for 2 years.
But you said losing. No, it's not. I don't think it's a failure because I learned and I grew. But you're saying... I'm like, you already lived one dream, and you downplayed playing tennis professionally. You've had one... Like, if you were just... one of my sons, I'd be like, that's my son Kirk. He played professional tennis.
I'd like to actually be one of your sons. You're a great dad. I can already tell that.
You're a sweetheart.
No, I mean, there's rooms in this house where I could just move in and you wouldn't even know it.
I think I'd probably know it when it came to change your diaper, and only your shoulder fit on the diaper changer. Which, by the way, I don't know why diaper changers...
What if I just never left? Remember Michael Keaton, Pacific Heights? What if I just took over? Like, what happened to Michael... Hey, Kirk, thanks for the podcast. Wait, you're still here? Yeah, I'm inside.
What happened to Michael Keaton? Where is he? He's always good.
I worked with him a couple years ago.
On?
Postgrad.
What's Postgrad? Like, I've never even heard of this.
He played a father.
Angie, you're the resident film guy.
I played Buffalo Bill. I tried to sell him belt buckles, but we had a little fight scene. Postgrad.
Have you heard of this movie, Angie?
It changed the world for some people.
Yeah, to the belt buckle industry.
Buffalo Bill.
But Michael Keaton, do you think how much of Michael Keaton's not being around anymore would you personally... I'm being
attribute to me?
No.
Okay. I didn't know where you were going.
You're like Mercury. You're so damn squiggly and fast. It's great.
Yeah, she was in it.
Who's that lady? Who is she? Why don't you read the poster with the names on it? Because she's probably the first one.
There's words there that you can see.
Considering it's a poster with her on it.
I should know.
You lummox.
I should know.
I think your watch is too tight the way you're behaving tonight, Angie.
A lot of tension.
Just look. Just look at the poster. The first female name. Read it. Go do that thing where you go like this with your fingers on an iPhone. All right, maybe it's your fingers. Maybe your fingers.
That only works on a phone, not a computer screen.
He doesn't know that. He'll sit there and massage that thing.
Is he a savant?
No. Alexis Bidle played Ride in Malby. Hold on. All right, Michael Keaton has third billing. Jane Lynch.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty
Carol
rad.
Burnett was in there.
Hold on a second, Andy.
What did I do? Where's
Nothing.
Kirk Fox? Keep going.
Down. Marianne J.K. Simons.
Might be down on the floor.
All right, J.K. Simons, who's Emil Skoda on Law & Order, was in it. Vanessa Branch. Yeah, you're not even... You're after, like, the hose.
No.
Like, we'll
Dimitri Martin was in it, too.
Yeah. I don't even know where you are, dude. You're past Shirley Jordan, Vanessa, Oscar Dillon.
Wait, was I even in this movie?
Melissa Tang. How could you be a woman whose last name is Tang? Fred Armisen. Where you?
There, I
Kirk
see me.
Fox, Buffalo Bill. You're between Gino Woolard and Andrew Daly.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Nothing wrong with those two.
How much of Michael Keaton not being around is attributed to Kirk Fox, and how much is it attributed to turning down doing Batman again? Do you think that hurt? Honestly, do you think that really
changed his whole life?
And just Warner Brothers goes, fuck this guy, never again. No, put him in anything. Because they don't know the franchise is going to move forward. I'm guessing, right?
That's it.
But why do they all move away from it? Clooney didn't hurt him, but Val Kilmer, it looks like Seagal now. He's just like a big, heavy guy.
Listen, these are questions you might have to ask Michael.
Michael
Keaton, he's in my trunk.
All right. In your Honda CRX?
Honda Civic.
Honda Civic?
Don't downplay the hybrid.
I'm not downplaying the hybrid, but did you get the hybrid to save money on gas?
Of course.
But
I didn't get it to pick up chicks.
But you spend... First of all, you in a hybrid is like Dino in the opening credits of the Flintstones with his head sticking out the sunroof.
I love this car so much.
Why?
It's like an old T-shirt that gets real comfortable.
I dig it.
It's just...
Now, that's wrestling. You don't know this, but that's wrestling talk. I wrestled, and there's some T-shirts that you bring into that wrestling room.
Listen, I put new tires on it recently. I mean, the car just wants to go. It doesn't have the power, but I have racing tires on it, which is great. I mean, if you look at this car, you'd be like, man, this car looks like it could go fast, but it can't. 0 to 60 in I don't know yet, because I've had it 10 years. I've never even gotten to 60, and I'm cool with that because I get 45 miles per gallon.
What's the furthest you've driven in your? Now you got me. I don't want to say it wrong because you get your Civic.
Do I get upset? You think?
Hybrid. Calm down, Brody.
Like how far have I gone?
What's the furthest you've driven in your Civic?
Tank?
No.
Just in general?
Yeah, like what's the biggest...
Palisades? I don't go far from Hollywood.
You've never said, I'm going to drive to Dallas.
Why would I go to Dallas?
For a gig? To film Wyatt Earp?
No, that was Santa Fe.
All right. Did you drive to Santa Fe?
No.
You just sucked from the Costner teat and let him fly you out in a big fancy jet?
I love Kevin. That's why
I'm Kevin Costner. I just won an Emmy.
That's why I did the Postman also.
We are through the looking glass,
I was Costner's go-to guy.
Back and to the left. This was a coup d'etat, people. Wait, he was what?
I went to Oregon. I drove it to Oregon once. To Donald Logue's place.
Wait, time out. So you're breaking my chops, acting like my question is ridiculous, and you're like, you know what? I drove to Oregon.
No, I was trying to remember where I'd gone. All your questions are very specific and fantastic.
Thank you, lover.
The question really is, when will I get to the answer? Like, if you ask something, I will get that answer.
What's your middle name?
Benton.
Benton?
Well, Benton. Benton.
Like the sporting goods store?
I'm not sure. I don't know about that store. I'm just telling you my name.
Benton. Family name? Mother's maiden name?
It's probably a family name. My dad's name was Ben Leroy Fox.
All right. First of all,
everyone and all our kids have Ben in their name somewhere. There was Selby Benet, Kirk Benton, Morgan Bennett, Ben Jr.
Are you just naming Earth, Wind, and Fire band members at this point?
No, I've knocked the filter off, and I was giving you honest family.
I dig it. And now is your whole family from San Diego?
That's where it started. My parents are gone. My parents are dead. I'm an orphan. That's why I could move in here.
We'll have you.
Good to be here.
Ask grass for gas, buddy. But I don't cheat and I don't smoke grass, so I guess you just got to show up with copious amounts of gasoline for my enormous car. I want to leave the biggest carbon footprint possible. When I die, I want the earth to go, whoo.
My hybrid doesn't even leave a footprint. There's nothing.
That's because Christ is carrying it. There's only one set of footprints. Your hybrid goes by. I hate that prayer. It's everywhere, and people always want to make like.
Now, are you religious? Are you a religious guy?
Yeah, I'm a big Catholic. I dig it.
Were you raised that way?
No, I converted. I have my own personal calling that's been documented. And I'll tell you off mic, but it's been done on the podcast a lot.
Nice. I was raised. My dad said, I wasn't raised anything. He said, do what you want, find something that makes you happy, and go for it. My dad was a real hippie, spiritual guy.
What was his name?
His name was Ben Fox.
Ben Leroy Fox.
But his nickname at the end was Bamboo Ben. And when
this is when he was wrestling the minor league AWA circuit?
No, toward the end of his life, he used to trudge in the deep sand down in Mission Beach, California.
Yeah.
Every morning he'd walk in the deep sand, and there'd be 200-300 people following him. He'd have his bamboo stick with a golf ball on top, and whenever he'd stop, he'd go, Raya, Raya. And everyone that was following him would go, Raya. So he had a cult following, Bamboo Ben.
But why were people following your father?
Because he was a character, just the same reason you like me.
Look, Angie's a character, and if he goes and walks on the beach,
no one's
going to
follow him.
That's what I'm saying. But what was it about your...
He doesn't have the twinkle that my dad... My dad was just a character. A lover, all bundled up. He'd go every day for 20 years.
But what I'm saying...
He'd talk to everybody, just like I do.
Listen to me, Kirk.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
Benton Fox, stand-up comic, who you can follow at Kirk Fox.
You don't have to.
You don't. Your father, is what you're telling me true?
Yes.
Okay, who was Raya?
That's something that he would say.
R-I-A, Raya.
He used to... Here, I'll tell you this story quickly.
And Kirk has a tattoo of Raya on his wrist.
When he was about 65, he was trudging one day, and he got real tired. And he stopped. Felt like he was maybe having a heart attack. He stopped. He took a deep breath, and he just reached for the sky, and he said, Raya. And he does not know why he said it, but he suddenly felt energized, and he trudged on. So from that time on, every half a mile maybe he'd stop and just say Raya. And then finally people started following him and doing the same thing with a rousing Raya. And about 10 years later, I'm like, Dad, what the fuck is Raya mean, really? And he's like, it's air backwards. It's the first thing we take in when we're born, and it's the last thing we let go of when we die. Air. So it's just his chant that hundreds of people started. It's just a mantra.
And he doesn't know why he said it.
No.
But what I want to know is, what a lot of people have a twinkle. George Clooney's got a twinkle, and the only people are going to follow him on the beach are the paparazzi, probably.
My dad was a handyman.
So are most serial killers, in all fairness.
I'll tell you one thing about my dad, which you'll appreciate, is he used to drive around in a Honda Accord, but he took out his passenger seat and put a little table in there. And he would cut apples and cheese, and he would go on long drives. But the only other person in the world that did that was Ted Bundy with his VW Bug.
Really?
Yeah. Ted Bundy, his VW Bug, he had the passenger seat taken out to stuff a body. So my dad was very different. But he had that twinkle. So you were right. A lot of serial killers have the twinkle.
What was it? And I'm really asking. And not, we got super deep with Brody, Gary Gulman, Carl LeBove. We've had, Ray Mancini. We've had some, through the looking glass, almost like therapy sessions. It's not what I'm asking of you.
What is it about my dad, you think?
What was it about your dad that this guy at 65 years old walking through deep sand, why are people following him? You go, well, he had a twinkle. Yeah, but who were the first two? Why?
The first two was just somebody, a homeless guy that he maybe gave a bamboo stick to. My dad would hand out these bamboo sticks, little ones. He'd call them bamboo bonkers. He'd put golf balls on the end. He was just a crazy psycho.
But
that people like
the look on your
him.
face, I've never seen you this at ease and this happy talking about your father. It's beautiful.
Listen, the great thing about my dad is he was born in 1913. He ran the crap games in the military. He was a late bloomer also. But in 1947, he drove out to California on an Indian Chief motorcycle with his little dog, Bruce, sitting on the gas tank. He had an Australian jumper, and the little dog would have goggles on. And my dad drove all the way out from Michigan.
This is all true?
Yeah, drove to La Jolla on this motorcycle, Indian Chief, with this dog. And then he became a house painter, and he was painting a house down in La Jolla Shores with his dog, Bruce, up on the ladder.
What was Bruce's job?
To watch.
Okay.
Just to encourage my dad to stay in the line.
All right.
All of a sudden, Bruce took off down the ladder and ran off down the beach a mile And my dad chased this dog, went around the corner down near Black's Beach, and the dog was just barking at this woman. And my dad reached down, grabbed the dog, looked up, and fell in love with my mom. And then they were together all the way till the end, 45, 50 years. He fell in love. Right when he picked up the dog, he said, one day you'll be my wife. And she was engaged at the time to a guy named Robert Bruce Willis.
To Ted Bundy.
No, Robert Bruce Willis, who was over in Pearl Harbor. And she went over there and decided which one she liked the most, and she married my dad.
Oh, that